Hi everyone. Today we're going to be discussing about how you can build machine learning and AI application. We know that in today's age, where we have a lot of couple of AI models coming out every time and now and then, so it can probably be tedious for anyone to kind of run a designs to pick a choice of AI models to use in a machine learning application. Best way to go through when you're building a machine learning application today, it is to probably run a sort of a prototyping design, which FlowiseAI has done a very good job there. It's an open source, and they have made it very much free for developers to be able to build, customize large language model orchestration flow, right? Because it has a lot of AI models input into the system, then you can just drag and drop different kind of model tests, iterate, and ensure that those models works based on what you want your machine language design to look like. Then you can then, once you have tested the system, everything is okay, then you can then start your implementation. This will save a lot of time in investing into testing different kind of models, while you end up finding out that it's not going to be fine and okay for your system. So as you can see, it has a lot of integrations you can run, build a machine language applications that can eventually read through documents, read through websites, a lot of integrations, organ phase, and all of the light of them. And the good thing about it is that, apart from the fact that you can orchestrate your own designs from Flow AI, you can also from the orchestration just connect to an API directly, and then host your orchestration design, and then just integrate directly without start building or start designing your own machine language framework or machine language design from scratch. Pretty much very easy and seamless. So we're gonna be using FlowiseAI to run this tutorial. So first is that, so you need to go to FlowiseAI, and then just try as much as possible to look into the website. Then you can then need to set up FlowiseAI on your system. So just run through this script in your console. Once you've done that and fully install FlowiseAI, very easy to install, straightforward. We're not going into that. Then you can just type in npx flowise start. So once you do that, then it's gonna eventually create a path on a local host, which you can then go to localhost / port. Usually it's going to be 3000. Then it's just going to take you into the Flowise, where you can start orchestrating your own design. So let's take a look at that. So this is the typical design of what we wanted to discuss about, and as you can see, we have pretty much about 6 items which are called nodes in FlowiseAI. Okay, so that we wanted to use to build our own machine learning orchestration, and we wanted to crawl or do a sort of web scraping on Netflix App Center, so which would now allow the conversation AI to be able to allow us to have a conversation based on the context on this website. Okay, so to do that, we are going to be needing these 6 nodes. The first is the recursive character splitter, and this recursive character splitter, it simply means that once it reads through this document, it's going to be treating this website as a document. So, and all of the links that are also relative to the document, what's going to happen is that, because it's going to be a large document, so the splitter is going to help us to split it into chunks. Now, the chunks, you can decide to pick any determine any size you want here. If 4,000 is too much for you, you can do 250, or 250 might be too small because when you're having the conversation, so to read through the context, you might not be able to, to eventually train it well. So you need a very good number. So then you can as well look at the additional parameters if you want to do a custom separation and all of those things. Then also, once you have your recursive, and how do you add your recursive? It's very easy. So let's just say, for instance, I just did this. So you can come to this blue icon, then you can just type recursive, then you can drag it to the canvas. It's very easy. So when you drag to the canvas, you can change the chunk size here. Then all you just need to do is just to link up this with your Apify website. So what is an Apify website content crawler? So the Apify website content crawler, it's also a model that allows you to be able to to read through website content like this. Then it's going to crawl through the content and then scrape through all of the links, crawl through the content, then you will be able to have them as a text base. All right, so there are different types of options that you can actually look for. There are a lot of them. We can have some of them that are Node.js based. This has Python based library that you can integrate into your NML, because you have to also have to be very careful when you're trying to orchestrate and try to pick these models. You want to be sure that it's a model that complies with the choice of programming language that you want to use in your machine language design. All right. So if that is it, then we have pretty much a couple of them outside Apify. We have Puppeteer. We have different kind of thing that you can just try as much as possible to come here and then type probably scraper. Then you're going to see a couple of them. This is Playwright. Playwright also has a Python library, but here also have what is it called? JavaScript library. This is also a JavaScript in Node.js library. So depends on your choice, of programming language you want to use to build your machine learning. So, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to only be talking about Python precisely. So now once you drag your Apify into your canvas, what you just need to do is to configure. So don't forget, you have to come to Apify, they sign up for free, and have a very good pricing. So for you developing, you have a very good pricing options here for you to start testing and developing application. I can have a very good pricing as well. Okay, so then you can create an account easily. So once you create an account, then it takes you into your Apify application. So you don't really need much here. All you just need is just to typically go and apart from, you can come to store if you want to start implementing. But for this prototype, you don't need that. So a lot of things, web scrapers, there's Facebook post scrapers, but a lot of things that you can actually do or work with. So it's a very great tool. You can check it out later. Just go to amplify.com. So then you just need to come to setting. All you needed is to come to integration, and you need to copy this your API token, because you're going to need it in the FlowiseAI. So once you copy that, what you then need to do is to come back to your FlowiseAI, then click on this edit, then put in your API in here. So once you're done with that, then you need to select these options too as well, but it's pretty much very cool. But whichever options that works for you is good. Then the next thing is just to put in your start URL. So which you come to Netflix, then you copy the URL, then put it here. So that will be the starting point. So what it does is that it crawls through, it does the crawling through the links, all the links, and also just scraping as well to copy the content. So once it does that, you can also come to additional parameters if you want to do a sort of in-depth crawling, so you can change these parameters as you wish, to the extent of how much you want the application to crawl through your content. Then once you're done with that, you then need to drop in Pinecone and API embedding. So before we talk about Pinecone, let's talk about API embedding. So now what you need to do is to go to OpenAI. You already know that. Just get a key. So once you sign up, you get your key. Then you need to select the model that works. I think text embedding at O02 is the best for now. Then you can look at parameters, which I don't think you really need any of these, but you can just check them out. So once you do that, then you need a Pinecone. So what is a Pinecone? So a Pinecone is a vector database. So let me explain what that means is here. So because once this Apify crawls and scrapes the content of your of the website, from the website rather, then what then need to happen is that this recursive character splitter helps you split, because it's going to be massive text, so it's going to split it into chunks of files. When it's split into chunk of files, so what then happens is that you also need to store this information somewhere. So when it does split it into smaller chunks, the smaller chunks helps in seamless querying when you're having the conversation, so it doesn't have to look into large documents. So then for you to be able to seamlessly query, you need to convert those smaller chunks into a sort of vector, which will then be embedded. Now, to do that, you will need this API embedding to be able to convert the smaller chunks into a vector embedding, vector store embedding. So what it does is that it converts into a sort of numbers, so that those numbers, it will then have them in a database, and whenever you chat, it converts those chats also into numbers, and we use numbers to check closer numbers, which are vector numbers, to determine the seamless content and some similar content, the closest similar content to what you are trying to ask. So once it does convert to vector, then you will need a vector database to store all of this information, and that is where Pinecone comes in. Pinecone is a vector database, very scalable, very lovely, very good integration. Can integrate Python, Node as well, Node.js as well. Very good integration. All you just need to do is just to sign up. They have a free package as well. You can sign up free. Then one good thing about Pinecone is that you can convert your setup into a serverless application, which is really a very good thing as well. So once you sign up with Pinecone, so what happens is that it takes you into your Pinecone backend. So in the Pinecone backend, you need to create an index. It is very important because that is where it stores in your vector database. So creating an index is very important. So we have created a sample index, which is general. You can create any type of design. It's very easy to create. Just need to do, just come here, then put in the name. Then you need to select a model as well. So pretty much embedded, you can select embedding text embedded at O02, which is also similar to what you are using to perform your embedding as well. So you have to be very careful about that. There are a lot of embedding, but this performs well for me. Then just click on set configuration, just to pick it, and then that's all you need to do. Put in your index name, then select the server, and you're good, right? But for free account, you can only create one index, right? So since we already created an index general here, so what you then need to do is to create an API key. All right, if you don't have any here, just click on create. So once you create an API key, you copy the API key, then you will need that API key in your what's it called, in the Pinecone configuration in your FlowiseAI. So what you just need to do is just come and then put in your API key, and that's just as simple as that. So once you're done with that, then the index you created, you have to type it there. It's very important, otherwise it will communicate with the Pinecone. Then after creating your general, another important parameter you need to set up, it is the namespace. Now let me explain what that means to you. So because they believe that in your Pinecone serverless application or in your Pinecone database, you might probably want to have different kind of documents around that you want to store into your vector database. So you need to create a namespace for them, so that whenever you're having a conversation with your machine learning application, it's just going to take the namespace and only going to take the context, all the context that are attributed to that namespace, so that all of those things don't just jump together. It's just a way of grouping your content together, which is a very, very good thing. You can also look at a lot of options, like here, a lot of settings, algorithm settings there, to just make sure that you perfect your system. Then we are going to be selecting Pinecone Retrieval here. Then once you are done with that, then we need a sort of a generative AI conversation that can help take in the message from the user, then create and then be able to create a generative response based on our context. And that is where the chat OpenAI comes in. It's very easy. Just come here, then you check chat OpenAI, then you don't drag it into your your canvas. So once you do that, what you don't need to do is just to select and put in your API key, which is the same key that you already put in the embedding in here. So once you're done with that, then you can then select a model here. It depends on the type of model you want. You can select GPT-4, GPT-3 Turbo, or whatever. So just for testing, then we're going to be using 3.5. Then the temperature. So the temperature ranges between 0.0 to 1.20. So what it means is that is what it uses to determine how creative or precise the generative AI is going to return your content, all right, based on the context of your document. So if you put between a 0, if you're going to go towards a 0, it's going to be extremely creative. It means that it's going to be dynamically generating paraphrasing the content for you, the response for you, based on your context, which I mean your document in here now. But if it is 1, you are trying to be precise. So precise simply means that try as much as possible to be very much closer to the exact thing that you want. So this is a setting that you need to be very careful about. So you have to do the settings and do a lot of iterations, testings, to make sure that it gives your customers the appropriate response you want them to have. Then the last of the list will now be a conversational retrieval question and answer chain. Now this can then be any type of machine learning tools that you are using. Okay, this could be RASA. So what is RASA? So RASA is a machine learning tool that allow you to build a conversational applications, that allow you to build your machine learning, based on context, based on context. Then you can create intent, entity, and all of those things. Then you can then be able to respond to user based on those contexts. So and you can choose any open source like this, or it could be a machine learning that you build yourself. You build a trained model yourself, and you build your intent conversation around it yourself. So it depends on the options you wanted to use within your implementation. But for you to be able to test the prototype, this is a very good way to be able to do a prototype. So now what you then need to do, it is to link your Pinecone to the vector store retriever, then link your chat model to your chat OpenAI. Once you are done with that, then don't forget you're putting your link to the document there. Then what you need to do is to to click on. Don't forget to save. It's very important, because if you don't save, it will not understand or update the configuration of the thing you have done. Yes, you just have to click on save. Once you're done with that, then you need to turn this icon here to offset. So what do we mean by offset? So offset simply means that it takes, for instance, now it's telling me it's going to offset all of this document. What's going to be is that it's going to be able to crawl through the website, then use the text splitter to split it into your chunks based on the character set you have, chunk size you have defined. Then it's going to use OpenAI embedding to convert the chunks into vector stores. So when you convert into a vector, then it stores. Then it's going to use Pinecone to save it into the Pinecone, which is your vector database. Then once you're done with that, then you just click on upstart. So if you do upstart, what it does is that it's going to perform all of this operation, then save those information into your Pinecone vector database. You can also check through the API too if you want to integrate, if you want to do upstart in your code base. All right. So this is for Python. This is for JavaScript, Node.js. Then you can typically just just trigger this to be able to run this upstart. So, but since we are doing that on the prototyping here, just click on upstart. So what's going to happen is going to take a little bit of time. What it's doing is that it's going to the website, crawl the URLs. It's going to take a lot of time, probably some couple of minutes. Crawl the URL based on how complex your document is. All right, so it could be a PDF document or probably a website, so once it's done and it's successful, so means that what it has done there is that it has crawled the content of the website, store it into your Apify crawler, then also it has converted them into vector, store into your vector database Pinecone. Then you can also toggle to see all of the things that all of the settings you have done. Then if you go to your Apify, for instance, Apify now, for instance, and I come to storage, I'll find that it has stores my document, for instance, now. Okay, and we can also export the document to see. So we can just say let's say view in a new tab, see, look at, and this is the document crawls from the Netflix website. Okay, so this is a Netflix website, so which shows that it's working very well. Then let's now go to see what happened in our Pinecone database. So when you go to your Pinecone, then you click on the general, then you will find out that you have a namespace here. You can select to filter to your namespace. So we are looking into Netflix, and you will see that it has broken the content into smaller chunks. So if you come here, then you can see the content that's broken into this text. All right, so then this is the vector values as well. So then once that is done, you're good to go. So you're done setting up your design. Then what you don't need to do is just to click on what's it called, the chat icon here, to start having conversation with the system you have designed. And we can typically look at some couple of questions. Okay, so we're trying to check type to say use a password for Netflix. So this is the type of questions that you ask, and you see that it tries to bring the response based on the context that we have. And if you click on the document in there, it's going to take you to where exactly it picks this response from, which is on the Netflix website. Another thing I want to look at is something like how do I keep my computer safe? Probably just a kind of questions, not directly the way it is in Netflix system that are epicenter, but because of the fact that it's a generative, you have a generative AI in your flow, it's going to paraphrase the questions and then look at the content and then give you a response based on. This is how to run effects on on your application after you have done design your prototype. So pretty much once you're done, you can probably integrate this chat directly into your website or anywhere if you don't want to build an application directly on a machine learning. So once you click on the icon here, then you can embed directly to your website and define either you want it to be a pop-up or full page or whatsoever, maybe it's on React application, or you can probably also if you want to integrate it into a Python application or JavaScript application whatsoever, then you can also do a sort of configurations as well to how you want to control how people interact with the chat. Then also before you can do that, you need to also attach to your key to it, so that because it's a sort of an API that you want to integrate to your website, so it needs that authentication to be able to know it's coming from you precisely. So pretty much this is how you can prototype your internet machine learning application, and this helps save you a lot of time, iterations, and all of those things. You can integrate all sort of machine models, organ face and the likes. You can integrate also, do your tests, do your iteration, saves you a lot of time, integration time, to avoid all technical debt. Then once you're done and satisfied with the flow, then you can then start picking all of these items as your resources to building your machine learning application. Then from there, you can, at any point in time, keep coming to this flow architectural structure to update, iterate, and do, then go back to your code base and then run. So this saves you a lot of time in testing and iteration. And I kind of think FlowiseAI has done a lot of work here, and it's a very good tool. And I think for any machine learning and AI developers out there, it is something you need to take advantage of, because it saves you a lot of cost and time. To log in your new machine learning and AI application, and then happy coding to everyone. Thank you very much. Bye.